Doing yoga on vacation doesn't have to be difficult or challenging. Do this express flow with me to release your shoulders, your hips, and your back. We'll start lying down using a block or some support system. This can be pillows, this could be shoes that you wrap up in a pillowcase, just something for your mid back. So supported fish pose block will go under shoulders. Hands reach behind your head like a little pillow for your head as well. And then allow for your heart space to open as your elbows reach out beside you. A few deep breaths. If legs want to change their shape, maybe butterfly pose feels good. And allow for this first kind of melting or sinking around your block to happen. And throughout this practice, you can pause the video if you would like to hold here for longer. Or join me for 3 more breaths in this pose. Last breath, and it's a strong sigh out. To bend your knees back if they moved anywhere else. Hands are still behind your head to help lift your upper body, and then slowly release off of your block or whatever you have beneath you. Move it out to the side, and then we'll meet in downward facing dog. And so this down dog, if you're new to yoga or just moving around at your own pace, don't worry about this being a quote unquote perfect down dog. Think about just releasing through your legs, so heels towards the earth, but knees have a pretty soft to generous bend. And then same with your shoulders, like you're pressing your chest to your thighs. Give yourself a few generous breaths with movement, a little walk of your hips, a walk of your feet. We'll take a breath in together. And then exhale, left knee forward for half pigeon. I like to go left knee to the inside of my left wrist, and then left foot pretty close to my right hip to start with. Back toes could be tucked or untucked. You may like to lift up your back leg for an extra hip flexor reset on this side, but that's up to you. You can stay lifted, or maybe you drop yourself to a humble pigeon. And again, doesn't have to be perfect. We're worrying more about breath here in a sense of letting go. So a deep inhale through your nose to meet with a big sigh out. And again, I'm trying to find a little bit of softness. Maybe that means you go lower. Maybe that just means you release your jaw. And again, you're welcome to pause or join me for 3 more breaths. Your last breath will take you back into downward facing dog, back toes tuck to help lift your body. And then switch sides, right knee pulls forward. Again, maybe to the inside of your right wrist, and then right foot's pretty close to your left hip. You're welcome to stay lifted. Maybe this feels strong. Maybe you go ahead and lower, same as before. And just make sure this feels strong. Feeling your breath. If you were driving, this side might feel a lot different, maybe a little more challenging. That's okay. Little rock side to side might be soothing. And again, pause or join me for 3 more breaths. And then we'll just take a little roll over to our right hip, so that way both legs can reach out in front of us. And then we'll take half saddle right side. So right foot is going to bend back towards your right hip. Foot can be flexed or pointed. And it may be that your knee kind of has to move way out to the side for this to feel safe and okay. And so any variation works. Left foot can hug in, or maybe for a challenge, you stack on top. We're going to recline back for this. So hands can be back to support you. Maybe it's just a hand step back, Maybe you lower to forearms, or maybe you go all the way to your back. I like a little activation here, but you can stay passive. I like to think of this like a bridge pose. So lifting, I squeeze right glute to help lift right hip up to the sky. And that just gets a little bit extra spicy. If that's too much, you don't have to go this far. Let's go 3 more breaths. And then a slow release and unwind. Help your legs to move, and then switch it over left side, half saddle. Same options, you can begin upright to move your legs and adjust. And then when you're ready, it's about to release back. Take a breath in. And a sigh. If you like the activation, kicking up through your left hip this time, kind of like a bridge pose, you can find it. Breath in together, and a big sigh out. Slow unwind to release everything back to center. We'll take a little rock up. We're going to go to just a brief plank pose. Step your feet back. Hands are strong and grounded. Then pull your chest over your hands, press into an upward facing dog. If you prefer cobra, hips can be grounded and elbows can be primarily bent for this, or the full press upward facing dog, whatever feels best. I always like a little bit of movement here, a little lower back unwinding, and back into downward facing dog. Landing in a forward fold somewhere on your mat that's comfortable. Deep breath in, and a sigh to exhale. Halfway lift, forward fold, and then rise all the way up, extended mountain. Just let your arms soften. We'll do a standing cat-cow for this last round of sequence. Take your feet wide. Option for hands to press on your lower back. Start by this wrap of your glutes. So we're squeezing glutes to protect our lower back. And you might just press your hips forward. Knees can bend with you as we press forward. If you're able to reach to thighs, this works better for my body, and so you can, or stay here. But we're letting our chest lift up to the sky. Elbows are staying bent. And then release to fold, hands to the front of your legs. Let your spine round. Inhale, come up. Press through your spine, open your chest. If you heard my back pop, maybe yours will too. We'll take one more breath all the way through. If you would like any final poses for your practice, maybe Malasana, Yogi Squat, or anything else that you need to, feel free to take it now. Or if you're done, namaste.